Avoid the clap. Yes, that's my advice as well. Stolen from Jimmy Dugan from League of Their Own. Kevin Gootee, Nick Whitmer. Here we are again, pal. Just another week of sunning myself in that famous 60% success rate. I love the view from here. Are you here with me now, or are you still knocking on the door?
Oh, no. I am colder than an Eskimo's twat right now.
Meow.
10, 13, and 2 last week. Yuck. But I going back at the last week's slate, I would bet everything again except maybe one or two. Like there was some horrendous beats on my part. I mean, how did the Giants not cover that number? There was just so many of those last week. I mean, I can go back and to see the games I had last week just as a Commanders +7. Dude, that game was 24-17 with like 6 minutes left, and they somehow fucked 38-31 or something ridiculous like that. Steelers got I've never seen referees literally have Jacksonville money line before. Like it was the most odd. If you watch that game, and I'm a Steelers fan, I understand. So you're probably thinking I'm just being a biased asshole, blah, blah, blah. I'm hard on my own team and I actually hate my team this year. So it's not even like that, but the officiating, especially at the end of the first half, was the most embarrassing, non-existent thing. I can't believe they meddled that much. So the only bet that I really regret is Packers +1.5 because they suck.
I learned my lesson 2 weeks before. I said, never again.
I had some props like Kamara over 4.5, Nico Collins over 4.5 receptions. They both landed on 4. I just had some bad luck, but again, at the end of the day, I would take everything again except for the Packers because I really think I think the logic was still sound. But anyway, that's last week. We're on to Cincinnati. We have to have a short memory. So let's go. Let's get back on the track here. I don't know why.
I don't know why you would bet everything again because they lost the first time. Why would you bet them again? That doesn't make sense.
Well, you only bet teams who win every game.
The worst thing about Kamara was he had 2 catches in the opening drive. I go, all right, well, shit, it's early first quarter. We're looking great. This should happen by about, middle end of the second quarter. Nothing. You got 2 more late, and then you think he'd dump it off later on. They didn't.
Another person I want investigated is the offensive coordinator for the Texans. What are you doing? Like that game, dude, I had the over in that game. That's another one, but how these guys were they were trying to keep the score low. It's like, did the offensive coordinators on both sides bet the under? Like what? There was so many first and second down runs into nothing, and they had no success rate the entire game, and they never deviated. Like, let fucking Stroud throw the ball. What are you going to do otherwise? Anyway, I
had Devin Singletary. I said, all right, let him run the ball. 31.5 was the over. 30 yards he had.
Yeah, there you go.
Eat a dick. All right. Yeah. Kick us off, pal.
We're just at Thursday night. The Tennessee Titans at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Currently, the Steelers are laying 3 with a total of 37. The game kicks off in about 12 minutes. This is one that I honestly, right before I bet it right before we went on air tonight because LeBron James tweeted out that he likes Tennessee. And I'm like, dude, if anybody's a square better, it's fucking LeBron James. The Steelers are 13-1 straight up against rookie quarterbacks at home under Tomlin. Kenny Pickett is 6-0 against the spread in prime time. Kind of just fading Levis here. I think it's a low scoring game. I think the Steelers probably win 17-10, maybe 17-14. So I have the under. I have the Steelers -2.5. There's still 2.5s out there. I found it. I think it was FanDuel. And I think there's going to be a lot of kicking in this game. So I have some props here for you guys. It's not going to be for you guys, really. It's just going to be for grading purposes because this show comes out on Friday. But Nick Folk and Boswell over 1.5 field goals each. And then Nick Folk and Boswell over kicking points 5.5 and 6.5, respectively. I think this is, like I said, field goal game. You're going to get a lot of them. But yeah, that's what I have.
Well, the Titans are 4-1 against the spread when the line is between +3 and -3. I get it. This game is appealing as watching 2 girls, 1 cup with your family at Thanksgiving dinner. But because of gambling, now this game is like a 6 that you meet at the bar who says as she's pulling a scrunchie off her wrist and leading you by the hand to the bathroom of the bar that she likes to give blowjobs until the dude's eyes roll in the back of their head. So party on, because I've got some bets too. I have teased the Tennessee Titans with the Miami Dolphins to both 8.5. I also have taken Allen Robinson, who looks more like, oh God, I don't know. Well, I'll think of something funny. Allen Robinson under 14.5 receiving yards. Derrick Henry over longest reception, over 8.5. He has hit that every game but one, in which the one he didn't catch a single pass. Longest reception over 8.5. Allen Robinson under 14.5. And Tennessee teaser plus 8.5 with Miami 8.5. And we all know the Titans 23-21 outright as dogs under Vrabel. 27-16-1 ATS as dogs under Vrabel at 628 winning percentage. Give me the Titans in a losing by a touchdown, and I'll be happy as a pig in slop.
There you go. Now we are on to Germany, our countrymen, right? You're German, I'm German, right? We both
Ziggy Zaki, oi, 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 as we say in the fatherland.
I had a bit in my act where I said I look like Hitler's chef, and I it's hard to come back from that one. Germany, the Miami Dolphins, you mentioned them before, at the Kansas City Chiefs. Currently, the Chiefs are -2 with a total of 51. This is, to me, is like you give Mahomes less than a field goal, you just have to take it. It's an auto bet. If I lose this bet, I'm not going to be upset in any way. I'm like, you just have to take it. He's you have the number 19-4 or something like that against the spread when he's an underdog or laying less than 3. You just have to jump on that. And the Dolphins are the classic team who beats up on bad teams but struggles against good teams. The Chiefs have a defense this year. The Chiefs are coming off the worst game I think I've ever seen them play. They had like 5 turnovers. They look terrible. Yeah, I just think this is you just have to take the Chiefs here. I mean, teasing up the Dolphins, I guess, too, is a play, but I lean Chiefs. I actually took it -1.5. I don't know if there's 1.5s out there, but anything less than a field goal, I mean, you got to take it.
18-7 is a favorite between 1 and 3 points under Andy Reid. Mahomes 7-3 against the spread. I went Chiefs money line. Something, I don't know. This could be 24-23 easily for some dumb reason. I have, so I'm going to kind of middle this baby. As I said, I have Miami plus the 8.5. Dolphins are 12-5 against the spread in conference games since the start of last year. They're 5-0 against the spread as favorites, but 1-2 as dogs this year. They're 2-4 on the road, in quotes, now while playing against Kansas City. I think the real fun part to watch is going to be watch when Taylor Swift chugs down a stein of beer and then spits it in Brittany Mahomes' face. Ziggy Zaki. Chiefs money line.
That happens.
Yes. Chiefs money line. Dolphins plus 8.5.
On to 1 o'clock. We have the Seattle Seahawks at the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens are currently favored by 6 points with a total of 44. I took this as a contest play at 5.5, and I missed the 5.5 on the number. If it gets back to that, I'm certainly going to bet it. 1 second. Just had a thought about being a Steelers fan, I guess. It makes you throw up in your own mouth. But at 6, it's kind of a stay away. But to me, the Seahawks are the most overrated team. Like, they've covered 2 straight games, and they shouldn't have covered either game. Last week was an incredibly lucky game. Geno Smith has been completely inconsistent this year. The offensive line is not good, and Baltimore gets after the quarterback, and when he gets rushed, he throws picks. He threw 2 last week. They really should have lost the game. There's a fluky bounce off of a helmet, and then a bad interception. Why are they throwing the ball? Why is PJ Walker? That's another one. I had Browns plus 3.5 last week. Of course, they lose by 4. That like, again, I would take that bet again. Like, I can't believe that didn't hit. But yeah, it's 5.5. I love the Ravens. I would take it at 6. I think it's probably a pass. 6 is now a big key number with missed extra points and 2-point conversion attempts. So I definitely like the Ravens here, but I'm going to wait to get to 5.5.
I've seen a lot of numbers here that skew me, but I haven't bet it, towards Seattle. Seattle 4-1-1 against the spread their last 6, 5-1 straight up their last
lucky,
6.
Though.
They are 2-5 against the spread their last 7 on the road. Under Pete Carroll, 50, 32-2 as dogs under Pete. That's 610 winning percentage. Geno, 22-14 as a dog his career, 9-6 against the spread with the Seahawks. Here is the number that makes you the most worried if you have the side of Baltimore. Ready? The Ravens as home favorites since 2021, 5-11, the most home losses of any team since 2021.
Yeah, that's because the couple years before that, they were just blowing the doors off of everybody, and they were the bully team. So all the numbers got inflated for the last couple years. And this number, I don't think it's inflated. So I'd take that one with a grain of salt. And I also think Lamar Jackson against the NFC is something like, what is he, a 19-1 or something like that?
Yeah,
and the reason for it
ATS
is
number is curious to know too.
Yeah, but it's just the idea of no one in the NFC plays like Lamar. So the few times he plays NFC teams, they're not really prepared. They don't have a guy who they can go and, study up against or play against regularly. So do you have a number of what is his ATS trend on that? On his,
I'm looking for one right now. It's just I'm seeing the 17-1
straight up
start.
Yeah.
I mean, if this somehow sneaks up to, God forbid, maybe 6.5 or 7, I'll be all over it. But
right.
I'm leaning Seattle plus the 6. Again, I don't have it bet yet. We'll see.
I think people look at the box scores and stuff and like overreact because the Ravens didn't cover last week, but it took a missed field goal, an onside kick recut. Like it was a bunch of fuckery to make that cover happen. So the Ravens the Ravens looked a lot better against Arizona than Seattle did. I'll put it that way. Seattle should have probably lost that game outright, and they ended up covering the 8.5. So anyway, on to
I wouldn't know. I was too busy watching the Giants in person lose in an embarrassing fashion in person in a monsoon. That was fun.
God, Jesus Christ, what a fucking abortion that was.
Mm-hmm.
We have speaking of abortions, we have the Chicago Bears at the New Orleans Saints. Saints are currently laying 8.5 with a total of 41. Pass. I mean, I teased the Saints down to 2 when it was at 8 with Cleveland. I teased a bunch of games with Cleveland this week. We'll go over that, I guess, when we talk about Cleveland, which is the next game. But other than teasing them down to 2, I got nothing on this, man. The Saints are terrible at home now. Derek Carr's terrible as a favorite. The Bears, there's just nothing to like about the Bears right now. So just a big pass.
As my buddy Matt Carangelo says, New Orleans is known for 3 things: horse shit, vomit, and assholes, which perfectly describes Derek Carr and his limp-wristed throwing style. I, too, have teased the bejesus. Actually, only 2 of them. 2 teasers for the Saints. And some numbers. Derek Carr is 5-18 against the spread when he's laying at least 3.5. 19, 34-2. The worst quarterback with at least 50 starts in the Super Bowl era as a favorite. Dennis Allen, the worst coach against the spread. But guess who's trying real hard to pull the rug out from under him? Matt Eberflus. 7, 16, and 2. Oh, here's Dennis Allen. 23, 37, and 1. Wow. The Saints are 0-3 at home against the spread, all as a favorite. Yeah, you're right. Why are you going to try and lay 7.5 or 8, whatever it is now? I am not touching that. Saints minus half. I teased that with the Bills over 41.5. And then I teased that also like you did. Saints down to 1.5, Browns to -2. I think they win. They better win. I was debating about them as my suicide pick. I did not go with them, but I have them as an over, also winning division, of course, making playoffs. So I want them to win. I don't give a shit if they cover. Just win, baby.
Great. We are on the Arizona Cardinals at the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are favored by 7.5 with a total of 37.5. Every teaser in the world on this game. I mean, there is a possibility, I guess, that Kyler Murray plays, but there was just a cryptic press conference today with Jonathan Gannon, and he was talking up Thune like crazy, or Tune, or whatever the fuck this guy's name is. It was kind of bizarre, and a rookie quarterback making his first NFL start in Cleveland against that defense in probably like 40-degree, 50-degree weather with some wind. There's just nothing you can like about the Cardinals right now. And then they just traded Dobbs, and Dobbs isn't a great player, but he's very popular in the locker room. Everybody likes him, and now they just traded him, and they're going to start a rookie. I don't know. This is you just can't take Arizona at this position. And the Browns, I mean, if he doesn't play, if Murray legitimately doesn't play, I might lay the 7.5 as well. But as of now, I have 3 teasers involving the Browns down. When they were at 8, I teased them down to -2. I mentioned one before with New Orleans. The other 2, Carolina to 8.5 and Tampa Bay to 8.5. So those 3 teasers. or what I have with Cleveland. But that's all for this.
Sleeper pick, Jerome Ford. Yes, a little banged up. He has scored at least 11.1 PPR in 3 out of his 4 since Chubb went down. And you know they're going to lean on the run big time. Running backs have scored at least 13.1 PPR against the Cardinals this year. This game is going to be less entertaining than the last 3 seasons of How I Met Your Mother, but who gives a shit? As long as they cover and get up early, they're going to ride the goddamn wheels off of this thing. I think I may tease them a third time because I have them right now. As I said, the Browns to -2, Saints -1. I also have, oh God, I wrote it down here too. Oh, the Giants teased with the Browns. So Browns -1.5, Giants +8.5. I also have the under tease, Arizona under to 44.5, Bills over teased to 41.5. And I took the Cleveland second half money line. Why? Because Arizona is falls apart like, I don't know, Stormy Daniels' pussy after the third dude came in for the gangbang. I have no idea where that came from, but I like the way it sounds. So I've got 3 plays, and I may tease this with the Browns with the Rams under because Stafford did not practice again today, or at least was not around to the media portion of practice. And of course, his Green Bay is just anemically, offensively disgusting to watch, as you've learned, and I have learned by putting our hard-earned American dollars on that. And I'll give you some quick stats. Arizona's 0-7 straight up on the road, their last 7. PJ Walker, 6-2-1 against the spread of late, 5-4 outright as his career as a starter, but every one of those starts as a dog. This is his first start as a favorite. Cardinals are 1-4 of late against the spread after starting off 3-0 against the spread. Browns 8-2-1 after a loss since the start of the season, including 7-0-1 against the spread in their last 8 after a loss.
Nice. On to Minnesota. The Minnesota Vikings are technically it's at Atlanta, but Minnesota Vikings at Atlanta Falcons. Falcons are favored by 4, total of 37. I got nothing on this, man. It's Taylor Heineke versus something named Jaron Hall. There are some, when a rookie who no one's ever heard of plays this first start, there's a little bit of juice, a little bit of pop, and, O'Connell's a clever play caller. So I could see Minnesota maybe keeping it very close. And Taylor Heineke, is prone to turnovers, but I just have to see this kid before I'm putting my money on him. So I lean Vikings on the points, but there's no way I can take it.
Jaron Hall sounds like an androgynous something. You're like, is that a guy or is that a girl? I have no idea. Jaron Hall, no Tamron Hall. That's for damn sure. Who looks like Tisha Campbell after 25 years. And here's your boy, Kenny Pickett. Ball batted down at the line of scrimmage. So I have nothing on this game either. Who gives a shit? Let's move on.
The Washington Commandos at the New England Patriots. The Patriots are favored by 3 with a total of 41. Another one for me. It's just a pass. This game, the variance in it is the Commanders are very inconsistent. We were talking about it before. They will play amazing, and then the very next week they'll stink. And they've done this. I broke it down before with the Denver. They played great in the second half against Denver. They came back and won. Then the next week they get blown up by Buffalo. And then the next week they play Philly really tough. Then the next week they get beat by the Giants and they score 7 points. And then then they played really tough last week against what's his
Allen Robinson just caught a first down. That may be it already.
Yeah, well, he never catches those. So that's probably his own first one of his only catch of the week. Anyway, the Patriots give me nothing to like either. It's just for me, Bill Belichick versus Ron Rivera is basically Bill Belichick versus a cadaver. Rivera is an awful coach. He's atrocious, and Bill Belichick is kind of washed at the moment as well. And Mac Jones. If there's any team that Mac Jones can throw on, it's this team. But there's no way I'm putting my hard-earned money on Mac Jones. So it's a pass for me. I know this is a source of some debate with us via text or whatever. So give me your play. I know you like Washington. Let's hear it.
Well, way to fucking let the cat out of the bag, my buddy. Washington is 7-3, their last 10 on the road against the spread. They are also 3-0 against the spread as a road dog, even 2-1 outright. The Pats 1-6 against the spread their last 7 when the line's between +3 and -3. 10-19-1 their last 30. Pats 4-8 against the spread their last 2 seasons. That's tied for third worst. The goddamn Redskins have played Philly twice. If I am not worried about any team throwing deep on me, it is the New England Patriots. They stink. The Skins held tight with the Eagles twice. Could have won twice. Give me the Skins, which I've already taken, +3.5, as well as a teaser. Washington +10.5. Dallas +10.
Yeah, like I said before, like I said to you earlier, this game could be, if you told me the Patriots won 20-6 or lost 20-6, I'd be like, yeah, sure. Like I just want nothing at this game. We have the Tampa Bay Bucks at the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans are favored by 2.5 with a total of 40. This is one I'm leaning towards Tampa. I haven't betted. I do have the teaser I mentioned before to 8.5. But that's it for this one. What I like about the Bucks, I think Houston is a team. I think they're trending down. I think they surprised a lot of people early, but this was a team that was projected to win like 5.5 wins this year, and I think that they're going to be closer to that team by the end of the year. Stroud looked bad last week, and he didn't look good against the Saints when they beat the Saints. So this is 2 games in a row with a bye week in the middle where he just hasn't played well. And the Bucks, they're in games. They're competitive. They believe that they are a good team. I don't think they're a good team, but I like Todd Bowles against a rookie quarterback. I think Baker can put up points and keep it close and or just completely win this game. So I'm taking most likely the Bucks +2.5, but I already love them in a teaser if I don't take it.
I love the Bucks in a teaser because that's exactly what I've done. I've teased them to 8.5 with the Carolina Panthers. Tampa 3-0 against the spread on the road. By the way, one of 3 teams without a road ATS loss this year with the Jags and the Vikes. Texans have lost 5 straight outright as favorites going back to 2020. But Bucks 1-4 straight up their last 5, 5-10 against the spread their last 15. I don't see this getting out of hand. Give me the Bucks +8.5 with the Carolina Panthers +8.5 for that exact reason.
Lovely. Now we are at the Los Angeles Rams at the Green Bay Packers. Packers are favored by 3 with a total of 38.5. God, there's so many bad games this week. No one knows if Stafford's playing. It's most likely going to be, I don't even remember the guy's name. It doesn't even matter. Rippin, who's just atrocious. And Jordan Love is atrocious. This is definitely the get right spot for the Packers if there is one, but you're not going to catch me wasting my money on betting on that. So to me, it's just a pass, and I hope this game doesn't even come on the fucking red zone this week.
I'd rather have Mike Love from the Beach Boys than Jordan Love. I've learned that the hard way. To the point where I'd rather sit in an airport bathroom and sniff people's power dumps for 6 hours than ever trust Christian Watson again. I have him in 3 leagues, Nick. 3!
It's mismanagement. It's not even him. They're using him. So he's a deep threat. What are they doing? They're not even, it's just embarrassing.
He has gone 3 straight without a TD. In the last 2 games, 6 for 60 yards, $4,900, pretty cheap. But like eating Indian food and Taco Bell and then getting on a plane for 5 hours, I don't feel like gambling with that. So I'm sitting Christian Watson. And I'm not playing him until the matchup is perfect, which this is not.
I definitely have the constitution for Indian food and Taco Bell, just years of experience.
You could cross the streams like that. I'm impressed.
4 p.m. slate. The Indianapolis Colts are at the Carolina Panthers. Panthers are home dogs, getting 2.5 with a total of 44. Love the Panthers here. I already mentioned it before I teased it. It did touch 3, and when it touched 3, I took it immediately. I believe it was Bet Rivers was where I got it at 3. It might still be there. I love Frank Reich is familiar with Gus Bradley's defense because Frank Reich hired Gus Bradley to be his defensive coordinator, and for some God knows what reason, when Shane Steichen took over, he kept Gus Bradley as the defensive coordinator of the Colts, even though he runs a very kind of rudimentary defense. So the cover 3 thing that was really popular like 8 years ago, that's not so much. So I think that Carolina is going to know exactly how to attack this. They have the new offensive coordinator who looked promising last week. There was a lot of points that in that game that were left on the table. A lot of people going for it on 4th and 1 from the goal line and not getting shit. So
It's your
Wow,
boy
Najee
Najee
just
Harris.
scored.
Yep.
Was that a run or a pass?
Run.
I didn't even. Yeah, wow. Crazy. I can't believe he scored a rushing touchdown. But hey, go Steelers, baby.
Sure.
So yeah, teased Carolina to 8.5, and when it touched 3, I grabbed Carolina. I love them at home as getting points.
I also have teased Carolina, as I mentioned before. Here is a stat given to you. I will give him credit on the Mushmouth Dream Preview. I will not give him the name, but the Dream Preview, which is pretty fun. The rest of the guys are good. Here's one. The Panthers are 1-5-1 against the spread this year. The only team not to cover multiple games this year. They are 1-1-1 against the spread at home. Colts are just here's a fact. This is one that drives. This one really grabbed me by the balls. The Colts have allowed at least a touchdown on average every first quarter. The Panthers are 6-1 against the spread in the fourth quarter. The Panthers have allowed the fourth fewest points in the first quarter. And now on FanDuel, they are catching 1.5. Half a point on DraftKings. I paid way more vig to get it on FanDuel with the extra point. That game could be 7-6 at the half, and I don't care what the story is. I will take that 1.5. So I took Carolina plus 1.5, and like I said, tease them with Tampa Bay. That's what I have for you in this game, Nick Whitmer.
Beautiful. Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles. Philly is laying 3 with a total of 47. Yeah, this is gonna be a good game. I think it's gonna be close. I think we're gonna see some points. I took the over at 46. At 47, I still like the over as well, but I like getting the key number 46, beating the key number 47, getting 46. I kind of lean Dallas in the points here. I don't know if I'm going to bet it, though. I'm going to wait until closer to kickoff. I'm going to really see what's going on here. I'm going to check out the injury reports, check out the weather. But I think this is one of those games that Dallas, this is like their season. I mean, this is like they have to. They're not really. I mean, not hyper. If they lose this game, they can still make the playoffs and blah 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 blah. But Philly's just kind of owned them the last few games, and I think Dallas has this bad taste in their mouth, and I think Dallas really wants to win this game, and I think the Eagles, they don't have that same need to win this game. I mean, they're winning games that they're not even playing well. They're kind of due for a loss.
Mm-hmm.
And Philly's like let bad teams stick around, and the Cowboys are a good team, and the Cowboys can get after the quarterback. Jalen Hurts' knee still doesn't look right. So, I mean, I say that he threw for like 400 yards and 4 touchdowns last week, but
Yep.
I think against the Cowboys, he's going to have to run the ball a little bit, and I think he's a little hesitant to do that. So I am thinking of taking the Cowboys, haven't fired it in. The only play currently is over 46.
Besides me wanting a meteor to fall in the stadium and demolish 2 shitstream fan bases, I also am rooting for points. Dallas, 5 out of 5 have gone over when playing Philly of late. Dallas has gone 4 out of 6 their last 6. By the way, Dallas also 5-2 against the spread and straight up their last 7, 4-1 straight up against Philly. Dallas 5-1 against the spread when that spread is between +3 and -3 since the start of last year. Dallas 18-9 against the spread their last 27 as dogs going back to 2018. Here's the big one. Dallas 14-7 on the road their last 3 seasons, the second best road ATS in the NFL. Bengals number 1. And why not give you a cold cash play of the week? Dak Prescott, $5,600. The weather is supposed to play nice, like my penis and I do so well together. Philly's pass defense, bottom 6 in pass defense, proper English, and overall acceptable decorum. That's another fun fact. Eagles defense have given up huge games to quarterbacks like Mac Jones. Yeah, 30.1 points. Kirk Cousins, 36 points. Sam Howell, last week, 38.9. 5 quarterbacks have scored at least 20.9 points against Philly. Dak coming off his best game off the year against the Rams last week, over 36.1. Dak Prescott, a very manageable $5,600 cold cash quarterback of the week. I have teased Dallas to +10 and the over 46. And God forbid if this gets to over 3.5, I'm going to pounce like a cougar on a 21-year-old boy at the bar. Meow.
The New York Giants, your New York Giants.
Yes.
Your New York Football Giants at the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders are still favored by 1.5 with a total of 37. I haven't touched this one yet. I'm kind of waiting for the dust to settle after these firings. I do think the Raiders are going to get that first coach, after the firing bump. I mean, if Jeff Saturday can beat a team in their opening week, I think any kind of new coach can. But the problem with Jeff Saturday is he got to play the Raiders in his first game, and Antonio Pierce doesn't get to play the Raiders because he's coaching the Raiders. I don't know. I was going to ask you as a Giants fan, how do you feel about this game? You think this is a good spot for the Giants after that terrible, terrible loss? Danny Dimes or Peter Pennies coming back? Which one's it going to be? What do you think?
I think the answer to the bell, Dable after a loss is, I don't have the number, but it's solid. Giants 2-6-1 of late against the spread. Yuck. They are 4-1 straight up and against the spread at Vegas. Tell me that is not a 9-yard catch. Let's try that again, Derrick Henry. Flag anyway. Who cares? Giants are 6-1-1 their last 8 against an AFC opponent. This is another game I have felt my heart. I was supposed to be at this game, but no, I'm going with my family to Aruba, as I mentioned. Personal foul, roughing the passer. I had the Giants plus 1.5, teased to plus 8.5, and with the Browns minus 1.5, as well as the Giants money line. But why? Giants are 20-17 as road dogs since 2018, 8-3 under Dable. Are you
serious?
Yeah.
What a bad call.
Yep. That stinks.
This is the last week the refs ignored a roughing that injured Kenny, and then they called one on us against fucking Lawrence when he was literally getting hit as it's just these refs are just awful, man. Anyway, sorry to interrupt your handicap.
Raiders are an NFL worst 30-60-1 ATS as a favorite. They are 10-20 since 2019, but they are 4-1 against the spread their last 5 as a home favorite. I don't care. If not now, when for Danny Jones? I think he's going to pull this out. I think they're going to pull this out. They're pissed against losing to the Jets. They should have won the game. I know they lost Lenny Williams, but whatevs. I think they'll rebound nicely. I think that's Antonio Pierce is a great player, by the way, for the New York Football Giants. Won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he was.
Thank you very much.
Very good linebacker.
But he's defensive minded. The Giants have a great defense. They're going to send the house against Aiden McConnell. I don't see good things happening. Give me the Giants 3 different ways.
Yeah, I did. You took them on the points, or did you tease them up?
I plus 1.5 on the money line and plus 8.5.
These refs are making up more shit. Do you see this?
Yeah, I did.
Right. Sunday night, the Buffalo Bills at teaser. We just have to get through this episode because this already they're just making up shit. This is like I'm not even being a biased Steelers fan here. This is just absurd.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right, sure. Yeah, that's a penalty. The Bills at the Bengals. Bengals laying 2 at home with a total of 49.5. I'm glad that 49.5 ticked up because you and I both, I believe you hit it as well, at 48, and then it just sat there, and I was like, I don't like that. Why is it sitting there? But eventually it went up. So, yeah, I took the Bengals at 1.5 and the over of 48. I think the Bengals just match up well against the Bills. And we saw in the playoff game last year. We saw it in the DeMar Hamlin game. Unfortunately, the game, obviously, what happened. But that first drive, like, Burrow just took him right down the field and scored. I just think this is a team that the Bengals know how to play against. And I love the Bengals are getting hot. This is what they do. This is exactly what they do every single year, actually. It's under Burrow. They start slow. They make you doubt them. And then all of a sudden, Burrow comes back. He looked amazing last week against the Niners. And the Bills have not played well recently. The injuries are still there. They're not recovering from these. They're not. I mean, they got Douglas from Green Bay, and he's good, but I don't think he's going to be okay. Now we're back, good.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave me Cincy. I love them this week. It's going to be a very chalky play. The public's going to be all over Cincy, but the public wins sometimes, and especially this year, the public has done pretty damn good. So I'm taking Cincy.
I'm going to wait till this gets to 3 and then hit Cincy. I'm going to wait.
You mean? Wait until it gets.
I'm sorry.
Buffalo.
No. I'm not sorry. I'm not taking Buffalo. What am I saying? Yeah. No. I'm sorry. I'm not even paying attention. I'm watching Derrick Henry run for 2 yards. No. I don't know about this game on the side. I had the total tease twice, and I may just chicken out and take the money line. You don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see.
That's nothing chicken. That's a good bet. Monday Night Football, the Los Angeles Chargers at the New York Jets. Jets are home dogs getting 3.5 with a total of 40. Got nothing on this game. And initially, I liked the Jets, but apparently the Jets' backup linemen are hurt, so now there's going to be a couple of third stringers in, and the Chargers suck, but the Chargers do beat up bad teams. We saw them last week. Not that the Jets are bad, but when you have like those injuries on your offensive line like that, I don't know if I could take them. So to me, if the Jets' offensive linemen are all in, maybe I'll humor the 3.5. But at this point, it's a stay away. Don't trust the Chargers. Don't trust the Jets.
I'd rather hot glue myself to the floor of a WNBA game than watch this. That's for sure. But hey, I have Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler, and Keenan Allen. Listen, I'll sell myself to the devil and watch this damn game as long as I get that fantasy football W. So I have no action on this game. My gut says to take the Chargers, but they've burned so many people so many times. But 3.5, I don't know. The Jets, Zach Wilson, I don't like it. I'm not touching it. Pass.
Right. Well, that's the slate this week. We can regroup. Tell us what we got here. I have Carolina +3, the Bengals -1.5, Chiefs -1.5, Cleveland and Carolina teased to -2 and 8, getting +8.5 for Carolina. Cleveland with New Orleans -2 and -1.5. Cleveland with Tampa Bay -2 and +8.5. And then I have the under in this Steelers Tennessee game, 36.5. Buffalo and Cincinnati over 48, Dallas, Philly over 46, and a bunch of props that I mentioned before, the kicking props that I won't regale you with. If you want them, just fast rewind to the first bit of the episode. And they're for Thursday Night Football. You can't use them anyway, so who gives a shit?
I have Arizona under teased to 44.5. The over for the Bills game teased to over 41.5. Browns -2, Saints -1.5. Bucks teased to +8.5. Carolina teased to +8.5. Miami teased to +8.5. Tennessee +8.5. Giants +8.5. You see a theme here. Teased with the Browns -1.5. Washington teased to +10.5. Dallas to +10. That is not a face mask. Saints -0.5. Bills over teased to 41.5. Giants money line. Dallas over 46. Kansas City money line. Allen Robinson under 14.5. He already has 10 yards. Awesome. Washington +3.5. Carolina first quarter +1.5. Cleveland second half money line. Giants +1.5. Derrick Henry over receptions +8.5. And I'm probably going to grab Kamara over catches +4.5. It is plus money. And then probably tease Cleveland and the Rams under. That was a dumb play. Those are the plays I have. And I have the lottery ticket parlay. Folk over 1.5 field goals. Levis throwing a pick. Under 37, Levis over 10.5 rushing yards. If that hits, it will pay for my plane ticket out there because the plane fares to Aruba, Nick, right now are dumb. It is now, if you wanted to fly to Aruba tomorrow, let's just put it like that, is $1,700, coach.
Oh my God.
JetBlue. I paid $1,100, so there you go.
Per person. Wouldn't it be great to get gifted 40 yards and penalties every drive because the refs are terrible?
That happened with the Buccaneer. That happened with the Buccaneer game last Thursday night, which is why they got backdoored. Which is why I'm glad I teased the Bills.
There's going to have to be some sort of. This is what I don't understand. Why don't they just have a god ref, like a referee who just sits in the booth and watches the replay and couldn't just veto bad calls? Just be like, when the ref makes a call and it's bad, just cancel it. And I don't mean like if a referee misses a call, they can then interfere and make the call happen. I'm just specifically talking about when a referee makes a bad call, just have one guy in a booth who can watch a replay and in 5 to 10 seconds make the judgment. No, that was terrible, because there would have been at least a dozen penalties last week alone that would have been not called back or not called at all. And if they just had that thing, because they were just atrocious calls. But anyway, that's it. Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, listen, hopefully we have another winning week for you and for me and for Nick, and we'll see you at the window.